I bought a PT Cruiser for $400 and it runs. Hey guys, welcome to Drew's Quick Fixes and Hacks. Subscribers, welcome back. All right, so guys, I've been missing in action for a little while, but I bought a PT Cruiser on Facebook Marketplace, and I got this thing for $400 and it runs. Unbelievable. It's got some issues. I was actually planning on buying it for parts for my other PT Cruiser right here, because it's, you know, they're always having problems. But I actually was able to drive it, and I'm starting to think maybe I ought to try to fix it up and just use it as a spare car for the heck of it, since I've become kind of attached to PT Cruiser. So yeah, $400 on Facebook Marketplace. Craigslist is no longer a thing when you're buying cars, because you got to pay $5 to post it. So everybody wants an expensive price for their car. So let's go over some things that this car has issues with. And you know, I ran into an honest seller, but the paint on this car is great. It's got a key fob and everything. Opens up, okay, and she will crank up. Right now it smells like vinegar because I sprayed some vinegar inside here. So let's get that radio off, and we're gonna turn this to the side here. Crank her up. Look at that. She starts up, runs. That is awesome. So anyway guys, I'm gonna turn it off here. We're gonna go over some more stuff that I went through when I was getting this car, right? So number one, it is filthy on the inside. That's not something I was worried about if I was gonna use it as parts, but there is mildew all over the seats. So for $400, that's what you're getting. The window broke. The window, which is the same problem I have on my PT Cruiser, which I'll be doing a video on, the window will not roll up. And this person left it open during a massive rainstorm. So what happened is it ended up getting water everywhere. The sunroof may have been open at one point too, but the sunroof works. So that's one thing. Now that can be cleaned. Like I said, I'm going to try to get some of these stains out with some vinegar and some water and some lemon juice. And then I'll hopefully kill some of the other. And then I think for the vacuuming and all this crud, I'm just going to take it to my local car wash for like $15 and have them vacuuming, sort of clean the interior to an extent. So yeah, but anyway, you know, it's missing a doorknob lock. That's not hard to find. And I'm using my gimbal here, guys, the one I just got. So it's a little wavy here, but it's not shaky, but I'm trying to get it, figure out, you know, what angles to give you guys on this. So let's go around here. The back's in good shape. Have to open it with a key. To let you guys know, one of the things when I bought this car, it had been sitting for a little while. I had a completely dead battery. Yeah, this lock's having a little problem here too. So PT Cruisers are known to fall apart. I'm doing this with one hand. There we go. We got it. Okay, filthy on the inside. Hinges back here work. But when I bought this car, it had extremely dead battery. So I talked to the seller. It also had a little damage right here. You can see that. So that's interesting. Now the taillights and headlights do not work. One of the taillights works, but the other headlight does not work. I'll show you that. So that's something I'm going to need to work on. So right now the lights are supposed to be on. Let's go around here. You got nothing. So there's probably an electrical short. I'll look at that. I think I can fix that. Now, apparently the alarm system lights work. This one doesn't. So, you know, it could just be bulbs too. So it could be something simple like that. So we're going to go around here to the tires. The tires were in decent shape, although when I came to visit the car, all four tires were flat. So I had to inflate them. And then I came back a week later because I had to get a friend to give me a ride. This car was 60 miles away from where I live. So I came back, and they seem to have hold air for at least 48 hours because I've had the car sitting for 2 days now, but they do eventually go flat. Now those might be able to be repaired. This tire had some pretty good tread on it, except it goes flat, because I need to replace this tire eventually. So that's why I was like, hey, $400 I can't lose here, because these tires are about 50 to 70 each. And that tire is eventually going to go on my red PT Cruiser. This one also came with a battery that was less than a year old. You can't beat that when it's less. So that's about $50 or $60 at Walmart. Let's pop the hood here. Turn those lights off. But I was just showing you guys the tail lights don't work. This is what you get with a $400 car, and it's a project. So this hood also tends not to close all the way, which kind of sucks too. Okay, so here we are. All right, so now the engine's in pretty good shape. It sounds pretty good. Well, it is overheating when I'm driving it, but I fixed that on one of my other PT Cruisers. That is this cooling fan right here. So I was able to drive this car 60 miles. It was a fairly cool day. I left you know, and there's the battery right there. Battery says 12 of 18. That's how I knew this is a fairly new battery. And there was no corrosion on it. So this battery was probably purchased in like March, even though it says 12. That's when it was sent to the store. It's probably purchased in like March of 2019. So it's exactly 1 year old. So I checked all the fluids. It wasn't leaking oil. The brakes on this car, there is probably a brake leak somewhere. Brake fluid was a little low, and when I was driving, it pushed all the way down to the bottom. Now, just so you know, I didn't just jump on the freeway taking this car. I drove it around the town where the person lived for a little while, and I figured if I had a problem, I could get it towed. I'm not going to get into the details of how I drove this car. I drove it. You either have to pay a tow truck per mile. We were going about 40 miles, 45 miles. So it's about $200 on $150 to $200 on estimates having the car towed. I figured I could use AAA if the car was registered, or like I said, for legal reasons, I don't want to get into how I was able to drive the car home, but you could say that I had the car roadworthy one way or another. You guys can figure that on your own. But I had a legal plate on the car. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, yeah, I was going to try to have it towed with AAA with the plate on the car if there was an issue. Other than that, you're probably going to pay about $100 to have registration and all that stuff done. And if the car doesn't run, it's not worth it. And I wasn't sure whether I was going to gut this car. So, but, like I said, now here's another little thing here. The glove box is pretty bad. But you know what? I can probably just pull that glove box out and find... Yeah, I'm tempted to even buy yet another scrap PT Cruiser just to fix this one up, because I was going to take this apart piece by piece. But the key thing on this is the engine runs. They told me the transmission slips a little, but I think I can actually put some Lucas transmission oil in it to fix that. The windshield is broken, so you can see that right there. The top of the car is in pretty good shape, and like I said, she runs. Maybe I'll show you a little demo of this one driving in a minute, but for now. But anyway, lots of dirt in here, just filth. So I could either have these shampooed or clean them. I don't know. Parts-wise, the interior, the seats are worth quite a bit. Now, I've cannibalized one part already. I'll do a video on that for you guys here. I cut the seatbelt out here in the middle, because fairly rarely do people use seatbelt. There's more mildew. But I needed to use one of these for my other car. So when my dog's in the car, it doesn't set off the seatbelt alarm, because Stark likes to sit in the front seat. So, the door locks in this work pretty good. Like I said, missing one of these. But overall, I'm like, hey, maybe I'll fix this one up and get... Because we're just dealing with the headlights and taillights, the heating and cooling fan, and now the transmission, if that is fixed. I didn't feel anything when I was driving it. But if the transmission is slipping, if Lucas oil works, I can fix this up. And I don't necessarily even want to resell this car. I kind of want to have it as a backup. Crazy, huh? Anyway, but yeah, it needs a good wash, and I need to make sure the tires stay inflated. But overall, for $400, you can't beat that. Actually, I talked her down to $350, but she was nice, and I didn't... With the new battery, I didn't want to, lowball her. So this is a good car. Just got to do a little work on it, get her it runs, get her in shape. As I said, no headlights and no taillights is an issue. Slipping transmission, I didn't feel it. The cooling fan, I can probably do that. I can get one of these on eBay, although, as I said, I'm not going to spend the $300 or $400 for a cooling fan. or however much they are, because this is just a scrap car. So yeah, but guys, $400 for a PT Cruiser, and I meant to buy it as a parts car, but I may end up fixing it up and just using it as a second backup driving car, because right now I have this Tahoe and the PT Cruiser, and I've got lots of cars sitting over here. I'm trying to figure this gimbal thing out. So yeah, I've got my Mercedes, and Mercedes aren't running right now. This Avenger doesn't run. My house is starting to look like a used car lot. There is another thing here, is missing a fog light, and the fog light is actually in the back seat. A lot of these PT Cruisers are going for about $1,500 to $3,000, depending on the amount of mileage they have on them. So this one has 188. So I'm not sure. The timing belt probably has been replaced. That would be a benefit, because if the timing belt is ruined, that's sort of why I was thinking about getting this car, just to figure out how to do the timing belt without ruining my car. All right, guys. Well, anyway, like I said, I couldn't believe I drove this car 40 or 50 miles with no problems other than it overheating. The engine looks in good shape. The owner was fairly honest with me, and that's awesome. We'll see. Like I said, she runs and she drives. We just got to get those headlights and taillights working, and then fix the coolant issue, and a couple little cosmetic things on this car. But I may be able to have a second PT Cruiser. I was expecting to take this one apart. Maybe I'll have to buy another parts car. All right, guys. Well, this is Drew. Thank you for watching.